Alright, so now that we've got the basics down as far as tables and lists, I'd like to implement a project that will allow us to build on both elements. This is part of a project we created for this series. It's a web developer directory that we can build on through future projects. This particular page lists developers from certain states in a tabular layout. Not only that, but we have these lists on the side that we can create. Now we have this page done in the project files. If you want to go to chapter 1, section 3, project files, you'll see there's a folder with the done page, which is this page. And in the parts folder we have the page body, and then we have the tables. Now the page body is a setup for us to begin with. I'll open that right now. And this is a basic outline of the site. So we have our HTML tags, our head, our title tag, which is find a developer, closing head, body I added some style to. Actually, why don't we open this? Actually, you know what? First thing you want to do is copy all this. Copy everything. And then let's create a new file right here. So I'm going to new text document, and let's just call this, you know what, let's just call it index.html like we did on the last project. And then we'll open that up, and then we'll paste from the page body, and then save. Now if we open that up, open it with a browser, just go to open with in whatever browser you use, and this is our page right here. So now we can work on this. So as I was saying, we have the body, we margined it out, we have a background color of blue, dark blue, color of white for the text, and the H1 is going to be our header, and the H1 is margined out, has 5 pixels of space. Background color is very dark gray, and color's white, and that's the H1 tag. Now what I have here is one thing I didn't explain in the last section was the comments. These are how comments are laid out in HTML. You have the less than sign, and then you have the exclamation, 2 dashes, and then you can write whatever you want in the comment section. And what I've done here is I have some div tags, and I like to label the start tag and the end tag, especially if we're not using IDs or classes. It's just a div tag. So this is going to be the main div. Let me just show you on the finished site. The main div is going to be everything in here, both the table column and the list. Then we have the left div, start. Everything in between here, these 2 divs, is going to be all this on the left, which is the tables. We have 2 tables. And then we have the right div, which is the lists. So what we'll do is we'll set the left div to a width, I think it's 500 or something like that, and then we have the right div, which will be, I think it's 200. And in the middle of the 2 lists we have an HR, which is a horizontal line. And you'll see all I have is comments. I just have comments in the place of where the tables and lists will go. So, and then the right div ends, and then the main div ends, and then that's the end of the document. So let's get started. So the first thing, the first thing that I want to do is add the actual content. We'll do the styling after. So just go here for a second. So first of all, the first thing that I see is the header, this Boston Developers, and that is an H4 header, I believe. Let me close this. That's an H4 heading. So I'm going to replace the comment that says heading with an H4 heading that says Boston Developers. In case you haven't noticed, I'm from Boston, from the Boston area. So the next thing we see So what I'd like to do first is to add the actual content and then add the styling. So we'll see, you can see right here we have a heading, which is this heading, Boston Developers. Then we have a table, Table 1. And then we have another heading, New Hampshire Developers. And we have another table. So that's what we're going to do first. Let's add the heading. Just replace the heading comment with the H4. Open and close, and then in the middle, Boston Developers. Okay, let's save that. Let's go to our document, reload. Actually, you know what? See this line? This HR is going to get in the way until we actually do some styling, so I'm going to remove it. Save. Alright. So, I'm going to work on the new document, but I'm going to use the finished document as a reference. So now, you know what? Let's add both headings. So this will be New Hampshire Developers, and you'll see that you'll see that our headings here. Hold on, let me just save this. Reload. These headings are smaller, and they don't look like the final projects. That's because we haven't added any styling. So don't worry about that. It's not going to look right until we actually add the style, because the style is what makes the web page. Alright, so we have Table 1 and Table 2. Now, if you go into the parts folder, you'll find a file called tables.html. Let's open that up, and there's two tables here. We actually have the headings there too. We don't want to grab the headings, we just want the table. So let's just copy the first table, start tag to end tag, and replace the Table 1 comment. Now I'm going to explain the table.